Rod Goodman, CEO for Win. Welcome to Module 11. We're going to show you how to take your business bigger, better, and faster online using social media and the latest internet marketing strategies. And bringing this to you is our head coach, who's an internet marketer, master, knows so much about so many aspects of the internet, from basic website building to search engine optimization and also social media. So we're excited to be able to have him heading up this coaching and doing such a phenomenal job. And now leading in towards here the latter part of our second quarter of our 12-week curriculum. Of course, part of the benefits of WIN is the lifetime alumni benefits. And guys, this information is going to become clearer and clearer to you quarter after quarter, especially as you earn while you learn and you get to actually start practicing some of these things and using these things. You're going to get really good at this, and as your income rise, you're going to see your knowledge rise, and it's just going to be one of those upward spirals. Just the more you learn, the more you earn, the more you earn, the more you learn, and we'll just keep going right on to the top. And certainly that's going to be escalated here with the launch real soon here of our residual products, our viral Facebook builder and our business builder package at 25 and at 100 a month residual. You're going to see some amazing incomes being generated and lots of action, lots of activity, a lot of new people joining your team at those levels. And that will feed their 12-week curriculum and the level 2, level 3 Millionaire Mastermind events. We are getting ready to take shape and take flight and see the walls begin to come up on the sides of this amazing castle, this empire called Win that we're going to be building together. And of course, our greatest goal is your success. So with that, I'll turn the time now over to Mr. Troy Thomas. Take it away, Troy.
Thanks, Rod. Can you guys see my screen? Are we focused on my screen right now?
Yep, I've seen coming soon.
Okay, excellent. Here, let me actually open up that view. Okay, so as Rod said, my name is Troy Thomas. I'm, of course, your coach for this series. Those of you in here, I'm sure have seen me many times already now. I wanted to cover a few things about this series and what's coming soon before we start today. Up until right now, well, not right now, I guess up until 2 weeks from now, we have only taught a basic level class, a beginner level class on internet marketing, an overall overview. Now, we did it twice for a reason, well, many reasons that we won't go into in this series. But needless to say, we're at the end of that, and so we're going to be getting into some more intermediate classes, okay? And this is going to be great because this is where we're really going to get our hands dirty and start doing some exercises and some marketing, and it's going to change the scope of our courses a lot. Now, that being said, there's a lot of classes that fall in that category. We can't teach all of them at the same time. Heck, you guys couldn't keep up with all of them at the same time. So what we want to do is we want to do a survey with our current user base and get your input on which classes we teach for the next quarter. Now, these are intermediate classes, so they will be focusing in on certain subjects. So your choices will be stuff like mobile marketing or social marketing or email marketing. And we will probably pick the top 2 classes and do both of them simultaneously. So we're going to be giving you what you need the most or what you want the most in the beginning here with Win. So that's going to be a great thing for everyone once we start those. Now, another thing that's happening is we're going to be kind of changing around the look and feel of the videos themselves and the way we deliver these. We've gone through some experimenting up until now, and as people know, or should know, When is in beta, even alpha in some areas, meaning we are still very early in the development stages of a lot of these products and the way we deliver them. So, please understand that as you work with us in these early stages. That's part of what it means to be a founder, is that you're also a beta tester, if you will, of the process. So we need feedback, and we're going to be providing some ways for you guys to give that feedback. But as far as the look and feel of our videos goes, that's going to be improving. We're going to be starting our 2 to 5 minute video series very, very soon. So you're going to start seeing some very well recorded 2 to 5 minute videos that break down each class that we do live, as well as expand and fill in the gaps in some areas that we may not have been able to go into as much detail in for that hour that class was held. Okay. So that'll be good. Now we're also going to be re-recording all of the 1 hour videos for each webinar that we've done up until now. We're going to do this for a couple reasons. We're going to do this to fix some problems with them. The original recordings, for some reason, some areas it's a black screen, other areas the voice is out of sync with the video screen. So anybody who's seen or experienced that, I want you to know that we already are aware of that, and we're taking remedies to fix that and prevent that from happening in the future. And the way we're going to be doing this is we're going to be recording our webinars and these videos using a different recording method than we've been using up until now, essentially. And this will give us a lot more control over the videos. As a matter of fact, the videos are going to start having interactivity in them, and this is going to be a really exciting aspect. And basically what this means is that as you watch a video, it may stop and ask you a question, and it may be a multiple choice question. And so this will be our way of testing how you're retaining the knowledge as we go through these exercises, so we can see where we can improve our videos and our coaching, our training. So this is going to be really, really a great thing for everyone down the road, and this is going to set us apart from most e-learning programs, as we're going to be, actually scoring our students and showing you where you're doing good and where you need work, and helping you fix those areas. So lots of great things coming for the coaching itself, the coaching program itself. So anyway, that being said, let's get into today's class. Today's class, some of you may have seen the bulk of this class before. Okay, we have done this series twice now. This will be the second time. So I just want to forewarn those that have seen a lot of this content before. I do apologize for that. A lot of this is a repeat, but we're repeating it for a reason. And so anyway, I have added some stuff to this class, though, that you will find interesting, especially towards the end. We've got a really cool tip for you at the end. So anyway, oh, whoops, that's not Module 6. Well, we'll have to fix that later. So Module 6, paid marketing. Module 11 is today's class, okay? And it's on paid marketing. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be looking at paid press releases. We're going to be looking at paid advertising, sponsored ads, paid listings, banner ads and media buying. We're going to be taking a look at social media ads, text blasting, voice blasting even. And then I've got a little surprise towards the end of the class that'll be very cool, that will help a lot of you guys that are doing marketing right now in some of these arenas. So now keep in mind that this checklist here is, for the most part, going to be each of these elements. will probably be their own class once we start doing the intermediate series. So a lot of these things will be listed there. Okay, so before we do, paid advertising, we want to test out our keywords. And now, ironically, um, the way we test out our keywords can and often is doing paid marketing. So it's kind of one of those catch-22 things. And whether it's a paid marketing strategy or a free marketing strategy, doing paid marketing can be a method of determining a keyword that is going to produce results. Um, Simply because paid marketing is such an immediate form of marketing. You do a paid marketing, see instant results essentially to your offer, and so therefore you can judge the performance of your offer immediately. So figure out what your budget is, and first and foremost, discover your keywords. Okay, you want to understand how your long tail keywords work, and you want to know the territory that you're dealing with. You want to look at your competition. You want to look at how they're marketing. You want to look at your keywords. And you want to understand all of the available options that you'll have for paid marketing, like display ads and banner ads and text ads and Google AdWords, Facebook, LinkedIn, Stumbled Upon. All of them have their method of making money for themselves. So they all have their ad program. So we're going to be, taking a look at some of that. Now, when you do paid advertising, of course, you need to have your tracking ready. Okay. First and foremost, because in the beginning of our paid advertising, we are most likely at a stage determining our keywords that we want to use. There was a day where you could determine, since Google changed things around and eliminated basically tracking keywords on searches. They made the search engine HTTPS. It's on a secured layer now, right? So all your searches are secure. Word research that we had available to us before is not anymore. So buying traffic from one of these traffic sources like pay-per-click or something like that, and tracking that performance can give you a very accurate idea of the kind of results that you can get from doing bigger campaigns. Okay, so use it as a not only as a marketing technique, but also as a discovery method to discover what keywords are going to work for you. Okay, and then of course, you need to create a landing page. If you're going to do paid marketing, you don't want to send them just to your regular website. You want to send them to a landing page that has a call to action, and you want to set up A/B testing. You want several versions of this offer in place before you are going to start your marketing campaign, because you want to be able to see which versions are performing better than others. Okay, and then of course, reviewing your results regularly, looking at the statistics. And more than anything nowadays, statistics are what matter more than anything. So review results regularly, and then of course, setting a budget and a plan for the long haul, taking this data and calculating, what budget can you spend and what do you expect to receive for that investment. And if you've done your research correctly in the beginning, then you're on your way and you should have a good campaign. So we're going to be going into this in more detail with other classes. Almost all classes have a methodology that's similar to this, because, like I said, you don't only use paid traffic to test your keywords for paid traffic campaigns. Sometimes you just want to do a social media campaign and you want to see what keywords you should be focusing on. So that's a great way to do that. Now, next we've got press releases. Okay, so as a paid traffic method, press releases is really the first thing that you want to do. And this isn't even later in the life of your business. Most paid advertising will probably be after you've done some free advertising. However, paid press releases are one of those things that you'll probably do beforehand. This is something that will benefit you earlier, and it's an opportunity-based type of thing. Paid press releases are. You want to have a reason to do a press release. You can't just spam a press release site with a bunch of articles. You need to be legitimately announcing something, and the formation of your company is a great legitimate announcement. So that'll be one of the first things that you do, but also you'll be following up with different events throughout your business, using paid press releases. And there's some benefits to this. It's going to create a quality link to your website first and foremost, and not necessarily from the press release site. Okay, I just want to clarify that for those watching that have experience at this. That it's not going to increase the ranking of your site, the link between you and the press release website company. Okay, Google's already all over that. However, where it will benefit you is the traffic that it can generate and the additional links that you can generate from that traffic. And press release companies are visited a lot by news organizations, people that are looking to write articles on different subjects. So if you have a cutting edge tool or system or product or service that relates to an article that somebody's writing, they may find you and write about you that they find in a press release. And any of those links that are generated are a great benefit. So press releases are a very common thing to use. Now, all businesses can benefit from a press release. Okay, I just want to throw that out there. Press release distribution can also be fairly inexpensive. I can actually, for $200, I can outsource it and have my press release put on 20 different top press release websites. So it's something that you can easily outsource. And of course, press releases can also establish you as an industry expert. So when you're releasing, information on you as an individual, accomplishments that you have made, maybe you won an award for doing something, write a press release about it, and that helps boost you as an industry expert. And that's more important now, more than ever, now that Google's changed their strategy and are leaning so hard towards promoting experts rather than websites. Now, one thing about press releases is that if it's really good, and it's a really good product, it can literally go viral. I've seen many a press release skyrocket into fame through just an announcement on a certain product. For example, I've got one for you. There is a game coming out where they went to release a what's it called, a Kickstarter campaign. I don't know if any of you have been to Kickstarter before. Kickstarter allows you to raise money for a project, right? So this company, they did a Kickstarter campaign and a press release, and they raised $45 million for their fundraising campaign. That's just ridiculous. Now, it wasn't only from announcing a press release, but I know from good authority that that was a huge factor. Was just them releasing the info in the first place went viral. So they can spread far and wide depending on your release and what you're announcing. So one thing you want to do also is use your news to get more customers. Okay. Um, if your company is going public, press release time. If it's your 1 year anniversary, press release time. Any of those types of things, news events related to your business, you can do press releases. And then, of course, investors like to keep up with news. People that are investing into companies, if you got a company and you're trying to get someone to buy you out, press releases are golden. This is where a lot of investors are looking for new businesses, is the ones that are organized enough to be submitting press releases. Okay, so here's just a quick list that we'll have in the learning area um, in a clickable format. And this is just some press release websites that I wanted to show real quick. You got PR Newswire, PR Web, Business Wire, Market Wire, and you do a quick search, you'll probably get a lot more, but those are the top ones out right now. Okay, now sponsored ads. This is another highly profitable, extremely popular method of gaining traffic to your site. Now, Google pay-per-click is considered a sponsored ad. Facebook ads is considered a sponsored ad, of course. If you've ever been on to Facebook, when you went to create your Facebook page, not your personal profile, but your page that we instruct you to create in another class, it asks you if you want to advertise. That's a sponsored ad that you would be running. Yahoo does this, Bing does this. Google really kind of founded this whole concept, though, with the pay-per-click sponsored ad arena. So Google being Google, the 900-pound gorilla that they are, I just wanted to show you how they became what they are today. These are really the two campaigns that they did that made them so much money. What you see on the left is what we call a SERP. That's a search results page. And this is outlining in red the AdWords area where you can pay to show up. And it's on a per click basis. Okay, so, and that's why they call it PPC ads, pay per click ads. And so that's what that is. And that campaign is called AdWords. Okay, a lot of people get these two confused because there's AdSense and there's AdWords. Okay, AdWords are all around the SERP. AdSense, if you've ever been to a website, if you look at this example on the right, then you'll see that those little advertisement banner areas that you see often on a website, that's called the Google AdSense program. And basically the whole idea behind this is that they are taking related businesses to the site that the banner is on, and they're exchanging banner ads, basically. So if I, have a site on animal breeding, then you may see a bunch of ads that are pet related, but not necessarily competing with me, right, in that area. And in return, I'm showing up on their websites. So it's like a cross advertising opportunity. it can be pretty popular, and done right, it can make you a lot of money. I know it's sure made Google a lot of money. So that's the two uh, Google methods really of advertising. Now, since then, there are a lot more. There's, mobile marketing programs that they've come out with since, as well as remarketing and all kinds of other more forms of marketing. But I wanted to just touch on the difference between AdWords and AdSense real quick, class. Now, sponsored ad tips. Let's talk a little bit about um, how to write and work with sponsored ads. Now, there's so much that can be said on this subject, first off, that there's no way we could get it all done in one class. But I wanted to leave you with something that can kind of benefit you if you are currently doing sponsored ads. And first and foremost, read a ton of sponsored ads, right? I mean, the best way to find a good ad is to find your competitor, look at the ads that they are running, find the top dog on the market, find the ads that they're running, and copy their methodology, but maybe improve on it, right? So this is such a common tactic in marketing that it's ridiculous, is taking something that is effective and expanding on it and capitalizing on it. That's just the way it is. You don't have to rewrite every marketing strategy out there. A lot of times it's being provided to you by your competition. So that's kind of where research comes in. you know Take your competition, research them, see how they're writing their ads, and more important than anything, write great ads and write them yourself. Okay, copywriters are great, but nobody knows your product like you do. So this is something that you're just going to have to get good at, is writing ads yourself. Now, fortunately, with certain opportunities, you can be provided with this type of stuff, and have it be effective. But if you've got a business out there and it's in a niche that's all on your own, and most likely you're going to need to write your ads yourself, simply because the copywriter is not going to know as deeply the information that you do about your business, and often they're very, very expensive to use. So just get good at writing ads. And then, of course, go beyond search engines. Sponsored ads aren't only available on search engines. There's sponsored ad programs on lots of different sites, not just search engines. A/B test, of course. Always split test. Be creative. Capture all your opt-ins. Some of these are kind of obvious, but I want to get them out there. And then, of course, don't set it and forget it, meaning you got to keep going through the process that your customers are going through, and do it often, because things break, things jam up, MySQL servers freeze up. You just never know what's going on with your program, so always run through it yourself just to make sure, especially if you go through a period where you're not getting any leads, go through and test it. So always be testing, and always be trying to improve your offer. Now, some paid listings. Paid listings is one of the types of paid marketing that you can do. Now, there's different niches that do this. There are niches that are related to animals. There's niches that are related to the automobile industry, car directories. There's lots of different businesses that have built themselves on cataloging information, essentially. Okay. So a lot of them are good backlinks to your website, first and foremost, but a lot of them are used. A lot of people forget the value of the traffic that the directory is actually getting and can send to you, basically, if you do advertise in paid listings. So if you're on an advertising budget where you can start getting into that, then paid listings can benefit you. Um, Yahoo, Hot versus Not, Business.com, BotW. I'm just kind of listing some of the more popular ones out there that you can use if you want to get started. And then, of course, each niche has its own, versions of these as well. So if you're in the financial arena, there are private, much smaller directories that you may want to list yourself, as a financial advisor in uh, this special financial advisory directory, right? It's another link to your site. It adds to your credibility. It's just good overall. And this is really important for local businesses. Paid listings is very effective for a local business, a business that has an address and they're trying to get actual foot traffic. That can be very good too. All right, so I wanted to kind of, in this class, I like to get some positives and negatives out there. It's not all rainbows and unicorns in the in the marketing world. There are some negatives. So I want to ensure that you guys go out there and you read the pluses and the minuses. Often you can take the minuses and you can turn them into pluses. There's times where I look at a statistic and I'm like, really, I could actually do this and make money on that fact. So there's often opportunities in negative statistics. But here's some stats about banner advertising, and I'm not going to go through each one, but just take a look at this. And when you go to the back office, we'll have this listed out a lot more. But a couple interesting ones that I wanted to bring out are, that the average person is served 1,700 banner ads a month. Okay. So that's a lot. And honestly, the premise behind this slide here, the 10 stats about banner advertising, is that because people get desensitized, banner advertising is not what it used to be. If you're a large scale business and you're doing lots of volume, then banner ads can be a huge lead generator. But I don't necessarily support doing banner ads in the very early stages of your business, simply because people have gotten banner blindness over the years and they kind of tuned them out. I mean, I can go to a number of websites and I can't tell you what banners were there at all. And most people are like that. They go to a site and they don't really pay attention to the banners. So it's a real thing. And so take caution before you do banner advertising. And we're going to be getting more into this, in more advanced classes as well. But all this information will be in text format in the back office as soon as we can get it there. Now, I wanted to kind of define something here. The difference between CPC, CPM, and CPA, okay? Because there's three different things, okay? Cost per click, well, it is what it sounds like. You're paying for every time someone clicks on the advertisement, okay? That's cost per click. And then there's cost per 100 impressions, okay? And, this is where people are seeing your ad. They're not clicking on it, they're seeing it. And that's really what CPM is. CPM stands for cost per mile, right? And then, of course, there's cost per action. And this is where you hear about CPA networks, where you can make a lot of money by selling a continuity program on a CPA network. Used to be the way to make money a few years back. And I'm sure you probably still can to an extent. But CPA, basically you're paying when you acquire a customer. That's even more awesome. Or it could even be just acquiring a lead. Maybe you're paying for actual leads, cost per action, right? Signing would be the action. So that's kind of what the difference between those is. And this is important to know because all paid advertising campaigns are one of these three most likely. Okay. There are some other methods out there that are very uncommon, so I didn't add them into here, but these are the ones that you'll run into the most. Now, if you are going to do some banner ads, use these tips to run them. First and foremost, don't use gimmick fonts or weird colors. Stay clean, professional. Decide early on in your company, do you want to be viewed as a serious company, or how do you want to be viewed, and stick to your guns. Okay. If gimmicky fonts and weird colors is your actual business model's, look and feel, then I guess you can bypass that first suggestion and move on. But if if your company is a professional company, try to tone it down and use regular fonts and colors so it's easily read. That's the biggest reason right there. Match your banner to the page that they lead to. Okay. This is enormous. This is probably one of the biggest tips of the night here, is to match your banner to the page. Is if you have a slogan or a catchphrase or some kind of headline that is drawing in a lot of attention through a banner ad, you want to continue that. You want to keep the momentum going. You don't want the next page to be this jarring experience that flips them out of the mode they were in. Okay, so you need to mimic the banner ad with the follow-up page so you keep that momentum going. Okay, we're going to get much more into this in other classes, but that's essentially what I mean by that. Match your banners to the page they lead to. Now also create and test different banner sizes. Okay, there is technically a standardized set of dimensions online, although that is starting to change with the advent of responsive website layouts. So you're going to want to look at how you're delivering this content and judge your banner sizes based on that more than anything. But you can still, for the most part, do the same kind of testing, because you can pick small banners versus tall banners, or rather short banners versus tall banners, or maybe wide banners. And you want to be listing them in the areas where people are looking. And here's another huge tip, and this was not in the first class. Hence, another reason why repeating this is not a terrible thing. You do hear some additional information that I didn't cover in the first one. But anyway, this is a huge tip. When you're doing this type of advertising, you don't advertise directly to your market. You advertise to where your market is looking. Okay? That's a huge concept to grasp right there. Is you're not advertising directly to your market. In other words, you're not advertising necessarily on a bunch of dog sites if you have a dog site business. You may want to advertise where dog lovers are looking. In other words, just if that makes sense to you. So you may want to be on sites related to parks that people would take their dog, or dog treats. Maybe on dog treat sites, dog owners, of course, are looking at dog treats or dog, equipment, dog toys. So I think you can grasp what I'm saying by that example. When you're talking about banner ads, don't just look at your keywords, that look at to be looking. Okay, you in all advertising, you want to be where your market is looking, right? That's how you bring in lots of business. So anyway, have a strong call to action. Very important to have a strong call to action. You want to make sure they know exactly what to do and what they're getting in that ad. Okay, now take all of this and throw it out the window. Okay, not really. What I mean by break the rules is that this is a great um, rule of thumb to follow or set of guidelines to follow, but by no means is this the only way you can do it. Okay, so don't be afraid to experiment with better ways of marketing your business and drawing in more traffic. Because in the end, every business is unique, and depending on the market you're dealing with, you may have to change things up a little bit. Okay. Now, buy action. Don't buy impressions. Okay. When you first start doing banner advertising, you're going to want to start out with action, okay? Like a click, okay? Or even CPA is great, although those campaigns are going to take a lot more money to get going, most likely because of integrating a lot of your payment stuff with, just trust me, they're more complicated. Um, but the bottom line is don't do impressions, okay? Those are not going to get you the kind of action you're looking for. You want to pay for actual clicks, okay? And then, of course, always be optimizing your ads. I say this a lot in a lot of different areas of my classes, and this is a very important thing. Display the right message for the right customer, meaning, if you're advertising on a site that is because you're targeting a female audience, change up your ad to match that audience that you're targeting in that area that you're targeting them. Okay. So if you're placing a banner ad somewhere online, and maybe you're targeting females and you're using a muscle magazine website to do it, well, you're going to want to design your ad to complement the magazine and the market that they are working with. You want to appeal now to their market, but using your product. Okay. So just remember that you want to display the right message for the right customer. That's what that means. Um, and then, of course, retargeting for your banner campaigns. Retargeting is a very cool thing. And I'm going to I'm not waiting for a response from anybody, but I will say most of you have probably noticed that sometimes you'll go to a website, you're looking at a product, and then you go to YouTube, and all of a sudden you're seeing that company advertising right there on YouTube. Well, the average person just doesn't see that as anything special. They think, oh, a coincidence. But that's remarketing, essentially. That's the one of the great new concepts out for marketing, is where you essentially have these cookies on your site that pass along data to remarketing websites on you. And what they do is they show you advertisements based on your past browsing history now. Okay. So if you go to a site that sells camera equipment, all of a sudden you may start seeing camera equipment being advertised on YouTube at the same store you were just at. So very, very powerful way of advertising. And we are going to list that as one of the advertising methods that we teach in our intermediate classes, because I really like retargeting a lot. Social media ads. Now, here's some great benefits to some social media advertising. Now, keep in mind, social media ads are a pay per click or pay per impression. Um, I think there's ways that you can do pay per action as well, but don't quote me on that. Essentially, though, the great thing about Facebook and social media is it's really easy to create an ad, and it's really easy to target your audience. Okay, and I can say this as a little spoiler. I'm going to be teaching you guys a very cool method of targeting what your audience is looking at. So it kind of covers what we just talked about a minute ago, where you want to advertise to the places where your market is looking. I'll show you how to do that using Facebook. Pardon me. Now, also with social media, you can set a budget that works for you. You can essentially say, I want to spend this much, turn the campaign on until I've spent that much, and then don't continue any further than that. So if you're on a budget, that's a great benefit of doing social media advertising. And then, of course, you're on a social media site. I mean, what couldn't be better than advertising on a social media website when you have all that sharing potential going on, the word of mouth, the sharing, the liking, the communications that you can develop and the relationships that you can develop afterward through that are endless. So this is going to be a huge subject, and I'm not going to say it's going to be the winner, but I anticipate this being one of the classes that we end up teaching our intermediate classes around for this next quarter. And then, of course, peer-to-peer recommendations. It very much goes with word of mouth. People literally saying, "Hey, you got to check this out," posting something on a friend's Facebook, timeline for you to check something out. They're literally making a recommendation to you directly, or on your on your behalf maybe. So those are awesome benefits of social media. Now, if you want to create an effective social media campaign, there's going to be some things that you're going to want to do. And I kind of listed out a few of them right here. First and foremost, you want to plan it out. Everybody's heard the phrase, you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So you want to plan it out. Second, you're dealing with viral advertising here. So you don't want to hold back. You want to promote your best content that you possibly can come up with. Okay. And for when we're going to be doing this huge contest soon. And so we're going to be definitely promoting our best content during this time. You want to keep it visual. You're on a social media site. You want to use videos and pictures and really wow them with your advertisement and the visual aspect of your social media ad. You want to keep the copy to a minimum. Studies have found anywhere between 100 and 200 words at the most for a social post. People just aren't reading really long posts. So you got to keep it fairly short when you do this on social media ads. And then, of course, any way you can make it interactive, do so. Anything that can stir people wanting to comment, okay? And that's the most important aspect of any social media campaign is, making people want to comment. And because that helps promote your contest through so many ways. So make it interactive. And we're going to show you some ways that you can do that and make it interactive. Whoops. Okay, another way you can advertise um, paid advertising is through text messaging. Now, our previous class to this was on mobile marketing, so I'm not going to go too much into this because we have done a pretty good bit on this. But essentially, its benefits are high impact, very timely delivery, very personal attention. You can geo target your deliveries. 90% or more are opened, and literally they're opened within like the first 5 minutes. Short messages are read in full. Look at Twitter. Twitter is a perfect example of that. It's one of those reasons Twitter's so popular is because it's short and sweet. You don't have to spend very much time reading it. Extremely high purchase rate, okay, with text-based offers, and of course, capable of creating various fun, interactive, and engaging, contests and events and all kinds of different things that you can do with text blasting. We will be doing a whole series at some point on text messaging. Text marketing features, of course, auto social posting, auto responders, contests and raffles. You can do customer surveys. You can do coupons, mobile keywords, voting and polling, scheduled reminders, text notifications, text to screen, virtual business cards. I had one of these for a long time. I would just give somebody my name and a number, and they could text it, and they would receive back my address and my Skype and all my contact information, right? And then, of course, website sign-up forms. You can integrate sign-up forms online to be integrated with text campaigns. And then last, we've got voice broadcasting. This is another form of paid advertising. It's a legitimate form of paid advertising that I wanted to get out there. But I want to make sure that I first cover the fact that, this is a very sketchy advertising to get into. Calling phones can get you huge fines. And so you really need to review the laws on voice broadcasting before you get into it. Okay. That being said, that's my disclaimer. Um, the things that you want to do if you're going to do voice broadcasting is first and foremost quality voice recordings and message. You don't want to skip anywhere on this. You want to do the best possible recording you can. So hire a voiceover to do your message for you. Unless it's like a message promoting a site about you, then that's the exception. Okay, if you're promoting yourself in this voice recording, then you can use yourself as the recorder. But if it's something else, then you want to use a professional recording. And then, of course, you also want to mention other communication channels. You want to make sure that in this recording, people are aware of your website, your email, your Skype, any other methods that you want them to be able to reach you through, you want to show them, okay? And then, of course, you also want to include a replay option in case, you said something that they missed, allow them to replay it. And more important than anything on this list is to allow recipients to opt out easily, okay? And I know that this goes just against the grain, right, of everybody, the way they want to build their list. They don't want anybody to opt out, but you have to be clear and concise on how to opt out and conform with those standards if you want to be legal. This is the law. So when it comes to text messaging and email marketing, you want to make sure that you're allowing a very clear and transparent method of opting out, and that you're staying true to that, okay? That you're not just saying it, but you're actually opting people out when they request it, okay? And then another great thing that you can do with voice broadcasting is you can differentiate between live and voicemail. So if the system detects a voicemail, it can leave a special message for voicemail that's different than the live answer. But going back to the first thing we talked about under voice broadcasting, reviewing the laws, I know that they've made some changes regarding that. I don't think that you can automate leaving a message anymore. So, that's something we're going to have to look into more. Voice broadcasting is probably something we won't be doing a class on till much later anyway. But for now, at least you know what it is and that it's out there, and that a lot of people do use it. Now, um, here's a pro tip for market research. Okay, in terms of paid traffic. Um, Now, first and foremost, overall, for any paid traffic campaign, okay, you want to identify high traffic keywords with a high commercial value, okay? You want to reverse engineer the link network of the site that's currently number one in your market. So take your competition, right? Look at what they're doing, reverse engineer the link network, look at the keywords that they are targeting, start there, okay? And then run a pay-per-click traffic campaign to determine the real traffic and conversions of your product, okay? This is how the pros determine if a keyword is going to work for a campaign. It's the most tried and true method out there for determining that information. Because in the end, guys, statistics are just statistics until someone proves them correct, right? Meaning that I can see that data all day long, but until I see the actual conversions on it, it means nothing, right? So you kind of don't want to leave big marketing campaigns, that have a lot of time and energy put into them. You don't want to leave that on chance. You want to get that information out there and know 100% if that's going to work out. So a great way to do that is to use a pay-per-click campaign. Set up one on Google, take the keywords that you're thinking about marketing, dump a little bit of money into them, look at your traffic. If you're getting lots of traffic but low conversions, then probably your landing page is more to blame. But this is a method that we'll cover a lot more as we go deeper into some of our classes. But just know this is what the pros do when they determine a keyword, especially nowadays. So here, this is your tip for paid marketing. So anyway, that is class for today. I hope this benefited everybody. I know it was a repeat of what we watched last quarter, but I hope this version was taught better and has more information in it. Now, keep in mind, we're going to be ending this series. We're on 11 right now. We're going to be ending this series very soon and starting the next one. And that is going to be an intermediate class. So expect to see an email coming soon, the next day or so, with a survey. And in that survey, we're going to be asking you which classes you want to see. And we will base our decisions on that information. So that'll be great to do that. We'll make sure you guys are getting the coaching that you're looking for. Anyway, thanks for coming out, and we'll see you next week.